Hunt podcast. If this is your first time here with us, or the first time you hear of Rasmus's Mauritius hunt, you're of course welcome to stay, but I suggest you go back and listen to episode 1 and 2 of the Mauritius series, and then join us again for the third and final episode of A Hunting Day in Mauritius. Welcome back. As you may recall, Rasmus went to Mauritius for a family vacation and managed to squeeze in a day of hunting together with his son and the local hunting guide Jean-François from Hunting Mauritius. They've had a fantastic hunting day so far. In episode 1, we joined him where his son was lucky enough to take his very first deer. A perfect beginner spike. In episode 2, Rasmus had an insane stalk on a beautiful, mature hind, and he was good and lucky enough to shoot it with a bow. And as I promised last time, it's not over yet. So please enjoy this third and final chapter of A Hunting Day in Mauritius that we've called Big Buck Down.
So, but it was amazing. And after that, I was really full.
And now the day was not done.
This was
now to the big.
Yeah, now to the big stack. So everything was kind of in completely messed up order, and that's what hunting is, right? You gotta take the opportunities that you're given. This was, I don't know, 4 hours in, something like that, into the hunt, and then we continued for a couple of hours trying to get the big stag. Had a lot of encounters. Had a beautiful big stag in a herd that we were looking at for a long time, and we went, but he just did not get free of the hinds and fawns. So no shot opportunity. There was a couple of opportunities, and he actually said that if I felt comfortable with it, I could shoot it on the neck. But I was just like, I'm not gonna do any risky shot. And there were so many good experiences already. I was like, completely, in all honesty, I felt if it doesn't work out, well, then my son shot his first animal, and I got a hind with a bow, right? So I was like, it's gonna be a full day anyways.
Yeah, and a bad shot ruined the whole day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and then with I don't know, half an hour left or something. There was a big herd kind of moving in an open area and out through some thicket and then coming out into a new open area. So we had the opportunity to kind of see the animals. They were moving quite fast, see the animals. And then we could see that when they got into the next opening, they were kind of slowing down to feed. So it was a good place to be because we could, there are stags in there. And then they disappeared into this thicket and then kind of spilling out on the other side. So we got set up there. And a beautiful old stag came out, and I was just completely calm. It was walking with a couple of hinds and fawns, and they just walked a bit in front of him, and he was like, my guide was like, he's gonna step out into the light in a minute. And there was like shadow, and then he was just stepping out into the last sunlight. Stepped into that. And the end was just perfect. I had my son right next to me. He had his binos up, and I had time enough to also whisper to him, "Are you following the big stag there?" And he was like, "Yeah, I see it." And like, perfect, good. And he just said, "Ready." And stepped down, stopped. I'm not even sure if he actually stopped. He might have stopped for just a second. 150 meters shot, perfect blade. And he just did a big jump up like this, and just ran like 20 meters in a circle, and then fell over. And a perfect shot. Ran and fell, and and just walking up to that stag was also a big experience. Yeah. It's a different beast. It's something that we don't see here, and
the fur looks really strange.
Yeah, it's the fur. He had mud all over him. He was just covered in it. He had thick plates of mud. Okay. He was like stag thick in the fur, whereas the very old hind that I shot was a bit raggedy, and the young stag that my son shot was beautiful and soft in the fur. Yeah. But he was just a mess. He'd just been rolling around in something. But a beautiful old stag, been fighting a lot. Actually had a broken, one of the front tines are broken. But just such a cool animal. And then walking up to, approaching him, I looked around and I looked at my son. I was like, this is where you shot yours? So for 4 hours later, walking around in a very, very big circle, and we didn't have any breaks. We had water with us, and we ate some fruits off some of the trees, and we actually, I think my shot was taken like, I don't know, 50 meters from where he took his. So that was wild. Then a pickup came and helped us gather up, and and that was it.
That was it.
That was
that's a compact hunting day.
Compact hunting day. Yeah, I think he also said that he had actually never experienced that before.
No.
Not he hadn't experienced before stalking 3 animals where one was with a bow. An amazing hunting experience. Very, very different from hunting free ranging rodeo or red deer in Denmark, where you can go out I don't know how many times without seeing anything. So something completely different, but a very, very good experience.
And good when you only have one day. You don't have a week to focus on hunting. You have one day.
Yes. And I think because we only had one day, we were also there were 2 reasons why we were in the lower and more flat part of it and not going up into the mountains. For it is the absolute end of the season down there, the last couple of days of December, because up in the higher of the country, the stags most of them have already shedded. But it was cool, and I think you can go to the more. Some of the other estates are more jungle-like, more greenish. And I think if you're going there and you want a big stag, I think it might be difficult to do in a day, right? But if you want a stag and want the hunting experience, a day is enough. And it was a great experience. Yeah. So
And no one else has a Rusa deer hanging on their wall, so what is a big stag?
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't have a reference. And it looks really big.
And it's 29.5 inch. So it is, and it's thick like a MF, and it's heavy. So it's just a cool deer. And then you can do it in a day. You can do it, combine it with a family vacation, and it's just it was a great experience. And on the last day, in the morning before we went home, taxidermy was delivered to our hotel along with export permits and all the paperwork. Everything was done and everything was filed, and they just delivered it with strings, making it possible to carry it. And I just checked it as odd size luggage.
So you have it at home already?
Yeah, I have it at home.
I think we'll put a picture in of the...
Yeah, definitely. So
the trophy also.
Yeah, and and my son has his as well, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So it's amazing experience. Really, really, really cool. And just felt like we were in completely good and capable hands all the time. There was just taken care of, and so that was cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's good to hear, and good to kill something for the channel.
yeah,
for sure.
And if you want to know anything more, planning a trip to Mauritius, and just reach out with a DM, and I'll be happy to put you in contact with Jean François. I hope I pronounce it just almost correctly, or else he'll definitely let me know. And to you, if you listen and or see this, thank you again for an amazing day. That was a good experience. Cool.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. And in 2 days, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, sure. Skål.
Skål.
Det passer lige med noget.
Yeah.
And while Rasmus and Anders finish their beers, let me just wipe the jealousy off my face for a second. Because, wow. If you somehow forgot, after listening to all 3 episodes of this insane, over-the-top hunting story, let me remind you, this all happened in just one day. I've got only one thing left to say. I want to hunt Mauritius so bad. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I have a little housekeeping. We really like the guys from Hunting Mauritius. But just so there's no confusion, this hunt was fully paid for out of Rasmus's own pocket. No freebies, just an epic hunt. That said, a huge thank you again to Jean-François for putting together such an unforgettable experience. And of course, to Morsey Adventures for letting us share some of his incredible footage. What a day. Rasmus and I would just like to say thanks for tuning in to the Up, Out and Under Hunt podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and got a little bit of inspiration and maybe that extra kick to get up in the trees, out in nature or under the water. Want some more hunting stories, saddle hunting tips or gear reviews? Be sure to follow us on one of the major podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Podimo. And if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. Then you'll never miss an episode and you'll make us very happy. You can also connect with us between episodes. You can find us on Instagram on UOU_hunt podcast. We are on Facebook on Ud, Op og Under Jagt podcast. And on YouTube on @UOU Hunting. We would love to hear from you. Drop us a comment, send us a message, or tag us in your own hunting adventures. We respond to all comments. It's great motivation and it means a lot to us. So until next time, remember, it's all about getting up, out, and under.